Oh boy. Hey, what's up everyone? And welcome to another review. And this time I'm talking about a little movie called Mom and Dad. Now, if you have not heard of this film, this is from one of the directors of the original Crank films, which I don't know why I said original. There's no remake or anything. But Crank, of course, and Crank 2 High Voltage, starring Jason Statham and directed by Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor. Awesome movies. I freaking love those films. I even kind of like their other films. Like I like Gamer. It's not a good movie, but I enjoy it. And there's definitely some Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor ish stuff in there. And I actually do, even though I hate to admit it, I do enjoy that Ghost Rider movie that they did. The sequel, the one where Ghost Rider pisses fire. I mean, I didn't want much from Ghost Rider. I just wanted to see a cool ass skull that's on fire, and I wanted to see him piss fire. I did. I really did, and that's what I got from that movie. It wasn't long. It was like an hour and a half. It got over quick, and it was some really awesome like DIY style like shots where like that's one really cool thing about Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor. When they want to shoot something, they'll get in there. Like they'll go on a skateboard and hold on to a car and like film something right next to them while they're skateboarding on a car by holding on and stuff. And that they'll actually get on like harnesses and stuff and jump with the stuntman to film stuff. Like they'll do shit. They don't care. Okay? So I have huge kudos. I have huge respects, and I give massive kudos to those two guys. So now we have Brian Taylor, not Mark Neveldine. He's not here this time, sadly. But Brian Taylor is here to bring us another movie with Nicolas Cage in it. It's like Nicolas Cage and at least one of these guys is like a dream team made to be. Like it just makes sense that these two would be together. And we have a movie called Mom and Dad, which is a simple ass premise. Something is going on. It's a disease, it's some viral outbreak or whatever that makes mothers and fathers turn on their kids. The whole thing about like, you know, a mother and a father always protect their kids, that's gone. It's reversed, actually. Now they want to kill their kids. So the entire movie is just mothers and fathers going after the kids. And, of course, Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair play the mother or the father and mother of these two kids, a teenage girl and a little boy. I would say more than half of the movie is just them trying to kill their kids. The other half of the movie is, of course, the setup, and we find out a little bit about these characters, and then we get to see the pandemonium, that pretty much the beginning of Dawn of the Dead. If you ever saw the remake, I'm talking about the remake, I guess the original too, of Dawn of the Dead, where like everything's going crazy and shit, and we follow like through the eyes of one character. That's pretty much what happens in the first like 30-40 minutes of this movie, where we just see all these mothers and fathers start murdering their kids in some really gruesome ways, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Even though I wouldn't say the movie is extremely graphic, there is definitely a lot of things in here. Like kids die. Okay, the first like 5 seconds you see a kid die. I mean, you don't get to see the actual kid die, but it's heavily implied that kid's dead. They even confirm it later on, but whatever. So the first 30-40 minutes is all the setup. Okay, you get a little bit of like, you know, like looks. You get a look from Nicolas Cage when he's looking at his kid, and you're like, oh shit, is he gonna kill him right now? It's only 30 minutes into the movie. And then, you know, Nicolas Cage is like, haha, whatever, son, I'll see you later. And we get a little bit of that stuff where we get a little setup and little sneak peeks at the violence to come. And I really like the first 30-40 minutes, which is surprising because I came in here expecting to have the entire movie be just mom and dad losing their shit and going nuts. But it wasn't exactly like that. But I was okay with it because the first 30-40 minutes is so insane and so just the way Brian Taylor and Mark Neveldine would direct and edit something where it's just so like jumpy and so just like quick cuts and stuff, but it makes sense for each of the scenes. It's grounded in a realism. I mean, it's grounded in a world where silly things happen all the time, but it still feels like the real world. You know what I mean? When it comes to realism, there's stuff like physics still work as they should, and things get lit on fire if there's gas everywhere. And let me just say, there's a scene like that. So there's stuff in here that makes sense for the real world, but it still feels like it's like set in some fantasy world, just because of how Brian Taylor sets up his characters, especially with Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, I never thought was a human. Like, in my entire life, I always thought Nicolas Cage was some alien. Like, him and Tommy Wiseau, there's no way they're both humans. There's no way. Unless there's, like, some sort of subhuman out there that is not like us at all, then I don't see how Nicolas Cage is a human. Because every movie, even the ones where he's so good in, like Leaving Las Vegas, there's just a little bit of, there's a twinge in his eyes. You could just see it. They were just like, there's something trying to break free. It looks like there's something trying to get out, and it's not human. There's like some kind of alien parasite in his brain that, like, there's something about Nicolas Cage that I absolutely love. And here he's completely unhinged. When him and Selma Blair go crazy, oh my god, it's beautiful. Nicolas Cage is so good in this, even though he's not in it as much as I hoped he would be, because in the first 40 minutes he's in it for maybe about 5 minutes of that. When him and Selma Blair go crazy, then they're in it for quite a bit of it. He's so good. There's certain lines he says. There's one part where he breaks down because he's having kind of a midlife crisis in this movie, and he breaks down and he just tells Selma Blair straight up, like, I hate our life now. I hate it so much. I'm not even gonna try to quote it. It's so beautiful the way Nicolas Cage goes on with this monologue about how he hates his life and how his life was so good back then and his life is shit now, and he's fat and he has hair coming out of his eyes and ears and shit. He didn't say eyes, but whatever. He's getting old, pretty much is what he's ranting about, and it's such a good scene. And everything in the first 34 minutes I actually love. Selma Blair surprisingly was great in this, and I actually love Selma Blair, but I thought she'd be more of the mundane mother, and she kind of is, but she has way more emotional. She has more emotional, I don't know, scenes, I guess. I don't know what she has way more of an emotional resonance. Is that the word I'm looking for? I'm not good at looking for words. That's why I shouldn't review movies, because I'm not good at it. But she's really good in the film, is what I'm trying to say. And you actually do care for her character, because in the first 34 minutes she's getting shit on by pretty much everybody, especially her teenage daughter, who they used to be like best friends and stuff, and they were always like really good mother and daughter. They had a great relationship, and now they don't and stuff. Of course, the teenage girl's trying to be a whore and all that stuff. It's really well done, and Selma Blair does a great job with that, with all that stuff. There's also a side character in here. Again, I don't really know the younger actors' names, but there's one character that's the boyfriend of the teenage girl. That is the daughter of Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair's characters. And I thought he was really good, and I felt bad for his character in a very John McClane way. If you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen Die Hard, you know what I'm talking about. Because I won't say anything else, but his character I felt for in that way, and that's what I love about certain characters. I love characters that go through the shit, but still somehow keep on going. So there you go. That pretty much spoiled it, but it's really not spoiler. It's not spoiler at all. But there you go. And I thought he was really good in it. I thought everybody was really good in it. If there's one thing I didn't care for in this movie, is that it ends in a way that's so, it makes sense the way it ends. It does, but I feel like they could have lasted another 10 minutes. Had a really, really good wrap up to it. And also, this is a negative for me because I didn't want to know. The movie never explains what's going on, why mothers and fathers are going after their kids, which is good. I don't really care. It's a good premise. I don't give a shit. I don't need to know, like, it's a viral outbreak that was created by the plants or some shit. Like, it's still happening, except now it's only mothers and fathers. And they don't want to kill themselves. They want to kill their children. I was okay with that. There's also one scene in this movie involving Lance Henriksen that I thought was brilliant, because the entire movie I'm thinking, like, okay, you know what, I'll save that for the spoiler. I want to talk about some spoilers after I'm done with this review, but I'll save that. So anyway, that is Mom and Dad. It's a fun movie. It's crazy. It's hyperkinetic. It's really funny at times, and it's really, really entertaining. I didn't think it was amazing. Again, the ending is really abrupt, even though it does end on a line I really like. And it has to do with Nicolas Cage, and I really enjoyed pretty much the entire film. Like, it's acquired taste, but I love me some Mark Neville Dean and Brian Taylor, even though it's only Brian Taylor this time. You know, what he's issuing out is good enough for me, baby. And Nicolas Cage, oh man, I love him. I'll watch any movie with Nicolas Cage. I swear I will. Like, I really will. If you put down like some shitty straight to DVD movie, like, I don't know, Rage or whatever, and tell me it's Nicolas Cage, I'll be like, okay, I'll watch it. I'll watch it right now. I don't give a shit. It's probably going to be horrible and you'll probably be boring, Nicolas Cage, but I'll take the chance. I'll take the chance. So, there you go. It's Mom and Dad. If I had to give it a score, I'd give it a 33 out of 40, which, if you want to look at it as a 0 to 10 rating, is a, what is that actually? I actually have no clue what that is. What is that? What is that? What is that out of a 10? A 33 would be a, let's see, it'd be like an 8.2 or something like that, right? It would be like an 8.2 out of 10. I don't know. There you go. It's a good film. I liked it. It's fun. It's not for everybody's taste. Definitely not. So anyway, let's get to spoilers. Again, I'm going to spoil the movie. So if you haven't seen it yet, which I'm assuming most people haven't, check it out somehow. You know, if you have an AMC near you, then it might be playing it. So go check it out. All right, so now let's talk spoilers. Just real quick, there's two scenes I want to talk about, okay? There's one scene that is brilliant in this movie where the entire time, I'm not thinking about this. They even brought it up earlier in the film, and I completely forgot about it. They mentioned that Nicolas Cage's father and mother are supposed to come over, and even the kid character like makes fun of Nicolas Cage's father because he always talks about Vietnam War stories and stuff. And I completely forgot about that. Later on, Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair are about to kill their children right there. They're about to murder them. And then you hear ding dong. I'm like, who the fuck is it? Newsman? Who is it? I mean, it's like 8 o'clock at night at this point. I mean, there's no way. And then he said, oh shit, I forgot. My mom and dad are supposed to be coming. I'm like, oh shit. And I even forgot, like, I saw Lance Henriksen in the cast list, like, before they do, like, a roll call of all the people that are in it. I'm like, oh, yeah, he plays his grandfather, and they're about to fight. I completely forgot what was going to happen. And right away he picks up that door, I was like, oh, my God. And then they just start stabbing each other and shit, and it was like, oh, my God, it's so brilliant. And Lance Henriksen, even though he's only in it for about 2 minutes, it was really cool to see him in a movie again that's in the theaters. Because I love Lance Henriksen. And he was really good for those first 2 minutes he was in it. Or the only 2 minutes he was in it. After that, I want to talk about one scene involving a baby. Now, I'm going to tell you right here. Whenever someone adds a baby into a movie like this, I'm always worried. Because I'm just like, I don't care if they kill the baby. It's a fake baby. I don't give a shit. But I'm always worried because it would diminish, like, if it's a good movie, it would always diminish the quality of the film in other people's eyes. Not that I really care what other people think, but if, like, look at Mother, you know, there's a scene with a baby in that movie, which I'm not going to say what happens with that baby, but it's a scene that is really controversial, and people will bring up that scene way before they'll even talk about the movie. And I was hoping bad things didn't happen to this baby because it would completely overshadow the movie. Luckily, again, no one's seeing it. Not luckily, obviously, but not enough people are watching it to even have a controversy yet. But the baby doesn't die anyway. There is a scene where a baby almost gets killed, though. And it's a really tense scene. It's actually not even, I don't think it's actually played for gags, that one scene. Even though I guess the one scene of the mother still, like, having a pregnant stomach chasing after her baby is, maybe if you have a dark sense of humor, is kind of funny. But, and I'll admit, I smiled at that. I was like, but I have a dark sense of humor. That's just me. But that scene itself, I thought was really well done. And they didn't kill the baby, which I thought they would, because they were kind of building it up. Because they keep mentioning that Selma Blair has a sister who's pregnant, and any day she'll pop, and that baby's gonna come out. And they even right before she gives birth to the baby, Selma Blair's character is just like, when you see that baby, you're gonna love it so much, you're not gonna want to kill it and murder it and eat its brains and all that shit. You're gonna love it forever. And then immediately, there goes a, I want to fucking kill this baby. Fuck this baby. And it's I mean, the baby doesn't die, so in retrospect it's really funny, but at the time it was just like, what the fuck. It was really well done, and it was a good tone setter, because the rest of the movie is both funny but very dark comedy, so it set the tone extremely well, very well actually. So I give it major kudos there for not going for the obvious, like, that baby dead, Like, oh, that baby fucking dead. Which, I don't know. The movie ends in an abrupt way, so maybe the baby did die. We never hear about that baby again after that. So who knows? Maybe that baby did. But I don't think so. I think it's fine. It's all good. All those young mothers out there, you're fine. You're fine. The baby's alive. It's fucking dead. But no, it's fine. No, it's not. It's dead. It's fucking dead. So anyway, I guess I should talk about the abrupt ending. I'm not going to explain exactly what happens at the end, but let's just say that there felt like there should have been another 10 minutes. It should have lasted a little bit longer than where it ended. It ended on a good little action scene. I mean, it wasn't really an action scene, but it was a good little eventful scene that it ended on, and it ended in a bloody way. But I felt like it should have, I don't know, should have had another 10 minutes to wrap it all up. You know, because the way they ended it, it's not even like sequel bait. It's just like, that's it. Bye. Like, even me, I was like, I'm used to movies ending abruptly. Even me, I was caught off guard. It gave me whiplash. I was like, what the it's over? That's it? But besides that, I enjoyed the film. Those are my only complaints, really, is that, and well, I guess that's really it. I really enjoyed it. It's a fun film, and it's very short. It's only like 80 minutes long, so it's not gonna waste your time. That's for damn sure. So go check it out if it's in your theater. Bring a few friends, because that's definitely gonna be a movie you want to watch with your friends. So there you go. Thank you. Until next time. Goodbye.